YouTube, this is Neon, and today the title of my talk is going to be half African American, half Filipino. So, some time ago I had the good fortune of meeting a person. This person is gender nonconformist, so I'm not sure how to refer to them. What gender term to use, he, she. I didn't get to know them that well, but we did have a really great conversation. And this person is half African American and half Filipino. And one thing that they said was, for example, with respect to their hair, they had this person had long, beautiful hair. This person said that African American, the typical African American response to them regarding their hair was that their hair was beautiful. And the typical response that this person received from Filipinos was, your hair's ugly. We don't like your hair. So this beautiful person, gender nonconformist, had told me that it was really disturbing because they were proud to be African American, they were proud to be Filipino, and I'll be right back. I done forgot my water. I needed my water. So they found this to be a little disturbing. This person felt like there's a lack of self-love amongst some African Americans who automatically see her hair or her skin as beautiful because her skin's not that dark skin, her hair is not that tightly curled, and there's basically her hair is straight, right? This person's hair is straight. So this person found that disturbing because you can be full African American, have natural hair, and be just as beautiful as a blonde-haired, blue-eyed person, or just as beautiful as a mixed-race person, or whatever. And for them to have so many African Americans think that this person's hair was beautiful, when African Americans' hair is beautiful, tightly curled, not relaxed, without extensions. And with all of that, it's beautiful as well. It's beautiful as well. If I compliment a woman who has extensions and she needs to tell me she has extensions, I don't really care. It's your hair. You look great. But you look just as great with your hair natural. So I found that to be very interesting. I do believe that those of us who are African American, mixed, right? I'm like half African American, half Latino. We have it easier. I talked about a Yahoo News article that said that the majority of millennial generation folk have ruled that the most attractive men are mixed race men. Now, the model they used to represent that was a model who was half African American, half white. I don't know if that was the image, or if it was any combination of two different races, or if it was somebody who was part African American and part another race. I'm not sure, but that's just one example of how we have it better. That a lot of times particularly if we talk the way that I talk, that I'm talking right now, a lot of times we're more accepted in the mainstream. The majority persuasion's more likely to be accepting of us because they don't feel that we're going to say anything that's going to really be too ethnically black or too ethnically African American. We're not going to make them feel uncomfortable with our ebonics, this kind of garbage. But also, as is the case with Hollywood, in many productions where there are no people of color, and they need to have at least one token African American, a lot of times that winds up being a mixed race African American because they're not that black, because their hair is not that tightly curled. So that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I am proud that most of the biggest actors in Hollywood that are African American are full African American, or certainly appear to be. You know, Monique, Angela Bassett, Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman. The list goes on and on and on in terms of huge actors. Lawrence Fishburne. So Thandie Newton. So I'm very, very proud of that fact. Not that I don't want to see mixed race people achieve as well, but I definitely don't want to see full African Americans not having equal opportunity to whites or mixed race people or whatever. But I really did find that interesting. We just really need to come to a point in human society that we stop seeing humans as commodities. I saw a documentary about a huge adoption thing going on in Romania. And a lot of what caused that to come to an end was because so many people from the US who were going to Romania to adopt, they wanted blonde-haired, blue-eyed people, blue-eyed children. So that's the idea of treating people as a commodity. One of the Romanian, I guess, social workers who was responsible for placing children in adoption, she said it got to the point where it was like they were trying to buy a doll. They were trying to buy like a Barbie doll, and they wanted blonde-haired and blue-eyed baby. And she said, we can't do things like that. And I believe that played a role in that relationship ending. But we need to stop treating people like a commodity. We need to stop treating people like the closer that they are towards blonde-haired and blue-eyed, the more intelligent they're likely to be, the better looking they're likely to be, the more peace-loving they're liable to be, the more easy to get along with they're liable to be, the more cultured they're liable to be. We need to get away from that kind of garbage. And I believe ultimately it is the more valuable of a human being they're likely to be. And the more we get away from that, which would be people who are of African descent, then the less of those great qualities are they likely to have, and the less value as human beings that they're likely to have. And this, of course, would go to Aboriginal people who are beautiful, or dark-skinned Asians as well. The less they appear blonde-haired, blue-eyed, the less value they're likely to be deemed to have. We need to stop this. We need to really get to a point in our society when all people are valued, all people are assumed to be intelligent and beautiful and valuable and peace-loving and easy to get along with. They're given that, and that's a part of who they are. And it doesn't matter how light-skinned, how straight-haired, how light their hair or their eyes are. We need to stop that. When I heard this BS about millennials saying that mixed race men are the most attractive, and the model was half African American, half white, and kind of resembled me. I remember how I got giddy over that, and I'm very ashamed of that. But I realized that just like many whites who were blonde-haired and blue-eyed, or just whites period, and they get all of these privileges. I understand that Brad Pitt had a lot of guilt that he knew because of his good looks and his being white that a lot of doors opened for him, and he had a lot of guilt over that. So it is real, these privileges. They're not fair. And I realize that most people who have these privileges, they deny them, or they have no regrets for being spoiled. They're proud of it. And I'm no different, because when I saw this, and I got all giddy thinking, wow, I'm like, the millennial generation thinks that I, as a man, I'm amongst the most beautiful men in the world because I'm half African American and I'm half Latino, and that's what they think's the most attractive. And I was just like, whoa, what the hell? What the hell? That's BS. You know, they could just easily say full African people, whether African American or from Africa, are the most beautiful, and they could be just as right there. So privilege is something it's easy for us to accept and take for granted, but it's just not right. We need to value all humans and not treat human beings as commodities. So I'm done with my thoughts on this. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share, comment commercials, recommend my videos. Do one or more of those things. Thank you.